Sequels. They're supposed to give us more of what we love, right? But more often than not, they often leave us feeling empty and, well, disappointed. We've all been there. You walk to the cinema excited to see the return of your favourite characters, only to leave wondering, why did they even bother? Whether it's bringing back beloved icons decades later or simply milking a franchise dry, Hollywood keeps churning out sequels that quite often just don't seem to hit the mark. So why do so many sequels fail, and more importantly, what can we as filmmakers and Hollywood creators learn from the few that actually get it right? Well, stay tuned and we'll take a closer look. The nostalgia trap. One of the biggest reasons sequels fail is the nostalgia trap. Studios assume that bringing back familiar faces and referencing iconic moments will automatically win over audiences. But let me tell you now, nostalgia isn't enough. Without a fresh narrative or an emotional stake at hand, sequels can feel like hollow imitations of their predecessors. Take Independence Day Resurgence. The original was packed with heart, tension, and unforgettable moments.
Welcome to Earth.
Iconic, right? But the sequel, well, it gave us flashy special effects and an overly complicated plot, but none of the emotional connections were there, and nothing made us care about the characters in the first place. Changing audience expectations. What thrilled audiences in the 80s, 90s, and even early 2000s doesn't resonate still today. Modern viewers have a lot more content to view and they expect more complexity, stronger character development, and smarter storytelling. Look at The Matrix Resurrections. It tried to be self-aware and meta, but it almost poked fun at its own existence by doing so. And for many original fans, it felt a pale imitation of the original groundbreaking narrative. Then more recently, we have Gladiator 2, a sequel to Ridley Scott's 2000 masterpiece. It arrived 24 years later, not to a great reception. The original delivered perfect arc for Maximus, with his story ending in what felt like final and meaningful. So did Gladiator 2 need to exist, or is it just another attempt to capitalise on the nostalgia of the original? Lack of original vision. Another common misstep when writing a sequel is that it loses the original vision that made the first film so memorable. When new directors or writers take over, they often struggle to recapture the tone, the pacing, and that creative spark that defined the original movie. For instance, take Jaws 2, a film I kind of enjoy, but it tried to replicate the terror of Spielberg's masterpiece, and it ended up feeling more like a generic thriller. Same with Jurassic World Dominion. It brought back the beloved trio of Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum, but instead of focusing on the awe and wonder of dinosaurs, it turned into an overstuffed action film that primarily looked into genetic engineering and genetic engineered locusts. I mean, seriously, raptors or locusts? Over-reliance on CGI and spectacle. Bigger doesn't always mean better. Modern sequels often lean too heavily on CGI and spectacle, often sacrificing story and character depth in the process. One example is Terminator Dark Fate. While the original Terminator film and its sequel used practical effects and great storytelling to build tension, Dark Fate is kind of overloaded, flashy, full of set pieces and stunts that just left audiences feeling disconnected from the main story. Then there's Doctor Sleep, the sequel to Stanley Kubrick's The Shining. Did you even know a sequel existed? While it had some visually stunning moments and is generally a strong film, it relied too much on recreating iconic imagery from the original instead of building a new story with its own identity. And this kind of stopped it from becoming memorable in its own right, despite being quite a frightening and engaging movie. Ignoring legacy character arcs. Legacy characters need to grow, but when sequels stretch their arcs beyond the natural endpoint, it often feels forced. Take Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull and later the Dial of Destiny. They tried to bring Indy back to more adventure, but by adding unnecessary complexity to the story, they diluted the charm that made the originals great. Also, think of Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. Now, I'm a big fan of the Pirates franchises and films, but after Jack Sparrow's journey in the original trilogy from self-serving rogue to someone lovable who occasionally puts others before himself, the fifth installment kind of repressed him and turned him into a bumbling caricature. His character arc was erased in favour of cheap laughs, and as a result, the magic that made Jack Sparrow so compelling became lost, ignoring how far that character had come and kind of making the sequel feel a hollow imitation of the original. Franchise fatigue. Franchises are a different beast altogether. Some, like the Scream movies, manage to reinvent themselves just enough to stay fresh while still respecting the legacy of the originals. But even Scream is walking a fine line and a tightrope. The first 4 films kind of stuck closer to the original formula, which was meta horror, with some biting commentary on the genre itself. But with Scream 5 and Scream 6, and probably the one coming soon, there's a growing sense that the franchise is in danger of becoming what it once satirized, and actually becoming an imitation of itself, a formulaic slasher saga that just repeats over and over again. Then think the new Halloween films. After the 2018 reboot actually recaptured the intensity of the original, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends fell into the trap of, well, trying to do too much while actually missing what made Michael Myers so terrifying in the first place. The exceptions that got it right. Of course, not all sequels are doomed to fail, and a few actually manage to respect the original while evolving the story in exciting new ways. Some franchises and sequels have mastered the art of keeping things fresh while actually staying true to their roots. Take the Mission Impossible franchise. What started as slick 90s traditional spy thriller has evolved now into one of the most consistent and thrilling action franchises of all time. Each installment raises the stake from the other while giving Ethan Hunt's character more emotional depth and pushing him beyond the impossible odds, literally. The later films, especially Fallout and Dead Reckoning, blend jaw-dropping stunts with character-driven storytelling. So by balancing spectacle with character development, the Mission Impossible series improves and shows that a long-running franchise can still surprise and engage its audience. I guess another couple of favourites of mine before we leave is the sequel to Blade Runner, Blade Runner 2049, and probably Top Gun Maverick. Blade Runner 2049 expanded on the original world without losing its philosophical core, and Top Gun Maverick balanced nostalgia with fresh character developments and gave fans exactly what they wanted and more. What was you looking forward to this last year that let you down? Just let us know in the comments. And don't forget, as always, if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel and hit your notification bell for more deep dives into the world of film. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you again next time.